This is the consult, his CV. And you will see there the Royal Foundation advice to the Chief Executive on separating affairs of the two households. You will see here, this is the 2018 annual report of the Royal Foundation, and you'll see that Rob Abercrombie, appointed May 8th, 2018 as the Director of Programs and Partnerships. But he doesn't, stipulate this in his CV. You will see in the annual report of the foundation, the year that the restructure of the foundation had actually taken place. Rob was by that time, Director of Transformation. We have confirmation that before even the wedding of Nudge, that the transformation of Megxit, or Megxit plan, was being implemented and executed by the palace. Number 4, Rob Abercrombie, the Director of Transformation for the Royal Foundation of both the Heir and the Spare and their counterparts, restructured the foundation by August 2019, while letting the foundation of both princes continue to operate until September the 6th. So while Sussex Royal was created, and MWX Foundation was created, and all those appointments of all the secretaries and so forth, the Royal Foundation of the two princes continued. So it wasn't like Sussex Royal was created and then the foundation finished, or really it should have been that the foundation finished prior to the Sussex Royal Foundation being created by July the 1st. But the foundation of both of them finished by September 6th, 2019. He implemented the strategy of A, creating the Sussex Royal Foundation by July the 1st, 2019, in time for the monarchy to transfer copyright of the Photoshop christening of Farchi to Sussex Royal. I will show you here. So this was July the 6th. It just says July the 7th because of Australian time. But this was, you can see here that Clarence House copyrighted all the Photoshops to Sussex Royal with intention by July the 6th, because they needed to have the foundation registered by July the 1st to ensure that liability of the palace would be evaded with these Photoshops. So it's interesting that Clarence House, although they posted and published these photos, that the copyright was already transferred to Sussex Royal. Now, with the company registration of Sussex Royal, there's a really interesting point that it's proof that Megxit was already a part of the plan, more proof. because of the wording of the foundation. It wasn't the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It was Sussex Royal Foundation. So let me show you the exact wording. Sussex Royal, the Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That's weird. And it doesn't say the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The brand itself is Sussex Royal, the Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This was established, this was registered July the 1st, 2019. Kookaburras are singing. I'll open up the door just in case you can hear in the background. But you're going to hear the bugs. Anyway. There you go. There's the kookaburras. Okay. Okay, let me get back to that. Sorry, I always think of, I love being Australian, and I love having, sorry, they just sang again. So I love showing, being able to show that to you in a way. Yeah, so not the Royal Foundation. July the 1st, Megxit was already being as well established and clarified by the monarchy, with the intention of using Sussex Royal, not the Royal Foundation of Duke and Duchess of Sussex, knowing full well that Megxit was going to happen. A plan done by their courtiers anyway. So instead of using the actual wording that should have been used, the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. American Clinton advisor Sarah Latham was appointed Comms Secretary July the 1st, when Sussex Royal was created. And Secretary Gerard Tyrrell was the secretary, but he was also the director of Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Trust. So to say that they went behind the monarchy's back is just ludicrous, just stupid. 21st of August, the day before, MWX Foundation is created, which is, not questionable at all. The chairwoman of Mediacom UK and Ireland, Karen Blackett, was appointed director. MWX Trading was created the next day to operate alongside MWX Foundation. Now, that should say Natalie, but Natalie Campbell and Gerard Tyrrell were director and secretary for both the MWX Foundation, which was Sussex Royal, and MWX Trading. And MWX Trading has James Holt under there, but James Holt is not under MWX Foundation. So that's very interesting, though, that both secretary and director for both of those companies were Gerard Tyrrell, the director of Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Trust, and Natalie Campbell. I'll show you here. MWX Foundation. I should show you. That was previously up until 5th of August 2000. Interesting is that, so actually Sussex Royal and MWX Foundation were two separate companies when they were created in 2019. So I'm not sure how that works. See how it was incorporated by 1st of July, but the foundation was still named that way on the 5th of August 2020. Very, very odd. Anyway, Sussex Royal MWX Foundation and the people there Gerard Terrell for a year, not suspicious. Now we'll get to Stefan Paul in a minute. Stefan Alish Taylor, who was the company chair. And Karen Tracy Blackett, appointed 21st of August 2019. Natalie Campbell. And Stephen Martin Cooper, will also get to him very, very shortly. Kirsty Jones, a broadcaster. So, you know, Harry, Todge and Nutt hated mainstream media so much that they appointed them as directors and key officers of their foundation. That's so fucking stupid. Sarah Latham, July the 1st. She was the communications secretary. And then we go back. And I show you MWX Trading, which is a separate company. Only 3 officers. James Holt, by 28th of February 2020, you know, when all the choppers were around in Canada, fake Canada. All the choppers were around and their security was taken away and they were fearing for their lives, and then the freedom flight happened. Please. Gerard Terrell. So his last appointment ended 2nd of October 2020. And Natalie Campbell. Again. Now we get to Stefan. The chair who was appointed 10th of September was none other than Stefan Paul Alish Taylor. CBE FKC, British entrepreneur, philanthropist, broadcaster and educator. He was appointed Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, in the 2014 New Year Honours, obviously by the Queen. So the Queen was definitely not blindsided to all of these ongoings, the establishment of Megxit, business-wise, before Megxit took place, while they were still working royals, mind you, supposedly living in the UK and just had a child. And was appointed as the first professor of the practice of entrepreneurship by King's College London in December 2016. He was made a Fellow of King's College London in 2020 after he became chair of Sussex Royal. Same time, on September 10th, Stephen Cooper was appointed its CEO. This was all the while Cooper was a CEO of the cities I don't know how to pronounce this. I apologize if it's incorrect. Hoa and Co. You can tell I'm not from the City of London. CEO from 10th of January 2019 to 13th of November 2020. Also known as Hoas, a British private bank founded in 1672 by Sir Richard Hoa, a 12th generation family business, and it's owned by 8 of Sir Richard's direct descendants. It is the oldest privately owned bank in the United Kingdom and reputedly the 4th oldest in the world. So this was one of the banks that then followed suit of the Bank of England, and the same sort of shareholding capabilities as the Bank of England, going through its direct descendants. James Holt resigned the post of the Jewel Foundation, so meaning the foundation of the Heir and the Spare and their counterparts, by 30th of September, obviously with permission, under Rob Abercrombie's transformation, and as per the Courtiers' plans for Nudge's job change as the monarchy slims down, and picked up Sussex Royal via MWX trading by February 20th, 2020, and later Travelist by April the 3rd. Meanwhile, I will explain to you that Travelist was actually created by August 2019. It was actually just assimilated into Sussex Royal. How fun is that? Right? So all we have by record is Travelist being registered as a company by 2020. By April the 3rd, 2020. So this was all to show that Travelist was only happened and only occurred after Megxit, because this wasn't meant to be a part of the royal family at all in the Royal Foundation, but it was. It was actually structured from the Royal Foundation and established from the Royal Foundation as per their annual report 2020. So all very strategic, all very clear and explicit. While Nudge were losing their security as per fake narrative. So MWX trading, February the 28th, they're meant to be living in Canada, remember? And all their security stripped, and they're going through this turmoil and this pain and stress and fear of their safety. Absurd. So you will see in this, the report that I'm telling you about, Travelist. Let me see if I can find it. Earthshot Prize was created. This year, a number of programs set by the Royal Foundation became strong, sustainable and impactful programs in their own right. The Endeavour Fund, Coach Core and Travelist have been successfully established outside of the Foundation. But we'll get to that in a moment. As per that report, it is then stated that the Royal Foundation, while they were still a duo couple, under the duo couple, provided a grant made to Sussex Royal. So they registered the company Sussex Royal by July the 1st, and then the foundation transferred funds through a grant over to Sussex Royal in August 2019 for £145,000. And the supposed reason, was to be to set up the charity Sussex Royal, despite it already being set up. And you wouldn't need to transfer funds because the Royal Foundation could have already established the charity and set up the charity, like they set up Earthshot. So why? It's not exactly clear. They then created the Endeavour Fund, Coach Core and Travelist, as I just said before, outside the foundation, with intention of the Megxit plan. Travelist, after all of these companies linked to Sussex Royal were formed under the monarchy's orders, was transferred to the Sussex Royal Foundation December 2019. That's why you don't have those records, but it's in that report. It actually stipulates that. Providing Rob Abercrombie then provided the many grants of totaling supposedly £151,856 to Sussex Royal for the continued development of Todger's new commercial endeavour. The Courtiers prescribed him Travelist. Travelist, the company, was registered later to make it look like it was a part of Megxit by April 3rd, 2020. But it's a British company. Incorporated 3rd of April 2020. No other previous names, and you will see Sally, India. James Holt, appointed 3rd of April 2020. Director of Communications. The CEO of Travelist being Sally Uren, Dr. Sally Uren. Oh, wait. And then James Whiting by 2023. So, and then Rob Abercrombie, what he did, so after all these funds were transferred by December as well, at the same time they arranged an agreement by which the Royal Foundation of the heir, so of what will then be solely the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, would grant half or 50% of the net future proceeds received by Diana, the Diana Fund of Sussex, to Sussex Royal, by the Diana Fund to Sussex Royal. Before Christmas, and Dan Wooden's Bower's fake Megxit narratives were installed regarding the Christmas photo frames of Her Majesty the Queen excluding Nudge. All a big show. So 18th of December, this was all agreed to and completed. And Her Majesty the Queen's speech wasn't done by that point, where that was meant to infuriate Nudge and get them to do what they did in January, which is a complete and utter fabrication. The Royal Foundation ceased the fund's grant-making and charitable activities also in December, ready to purely fund Nudge initially via Sussex Royal, via Archwell by 2020. I do, however, want to note that both Sussex Royal or MWX Foundation I think that I'm meant to be saying that they were operating, or that they, sorry, I'm just trying to make sense of what I've said. By 5th of August 2020 was when Sussex Royal was finished or ceased operations, which was well after Archwell was formed that April. So the point I'm trying to make is that both companies or shell charities operated at the same time. So there wasn't like this changeover with Sussex Royal. Sussex Royal kept operating. Not for long, but it still kept operating. I'll just show you what I've got there. So MWX Foundation finished 10th of August 2022, mind you. That's how long it kept going for. Sussex Royal ended only 5th of August 2020. And I believe that Archwell was created 7th of April 2020, as per my last video that I did. And MWX trading continued to operate until 10th of August, as that was the same time as Foundation. So Sussex Royal lived on and were funded via a matrix of multiple business operations. Yeah, that's interesting. So both MWX Trading and Foundation dissolved 10th of August 2022. Long after Megxit, long after the royals were not meant to be working royals, etc., etc. In March 2020, Nudge announced that they would no longer be operating Sussex Royal as their primary philanthropic vehicle in the UK. However, as I just told you, it continued to operate until 10th of August 2022. Just a change of name. And accordingly, their share of the net income will instead be transferred to Archwell or to MWX. See, this is where it's meant to be a confusing point and a blurred point, because you're meant to believe it's going to be Archwell, but MWX Foundation and MWX Trading were still operating. I just want you to take note of that there were 3 operations at that time. 3 operations: Archwell, MWX Foundation, which was Sussex Royal, they didn't cease, and cease operations, and then MWX Trading. In the UK, and accordingly, their share of the net income of Diana's fund would instead be transferred to, well, whoever, whichever, maybe everything, which I am sure was not a well-executed strategy of funds transference. No, not at all. Between UK and the US, even though these are all UK companies. During Nutt's first patronage with the book launch in September 2018, Nutt states she was new to UK by January 2018. So I think this is separate to Megxit, but this is to prove or to show that it seems as though Nutt didn't live in the UK at all, if not ever, and that she was just literally a contracted actress that would come in, just like I think what Todge is doing now, if that is the real Todge, in the US.